We still find them. I see Olwande. Ako hapa hivi amina mkono juu na Betty. Let's hear from the ladies as well. Olwande.
We Fabian, acha nikuulize, ulikuwa kwa hiyo maandamano ama unaongea tu? Ulikuwa kwa maandamano? Ndio ama la?
Namna nilivyosema sijakuwa kwenye maandamano, but nilikuwa
kwa wano. Wacha nikupe habari. First of all, mi nimekuwa hapo town. I think tear gas we. Nimekuwa hapo town, nimetoka kitu kama around 3:30 because sasa actually hiyo maandamano ilikuwa inflated by goons, honestly speaking. Na kulikuwa na watu walikuwa na bakora za kuchapa watu, and also kulikuwa na plain clothed police. And in fact, that demonstration was so peaceful. Mpaka around kitu kama saa 7, it was so peaceful. Kenyans were there with their flags, water and phones. Ni tu vile mi simu yangu ni mbaya, haiwezi simenyelenda nayo huko haiwezi chukua videos. But it was a very smooth demonstration. Then all of a sudden, when watu umeangalia hizo number plates, because I've seen some people have even tried to find out the number plates of those, they don't even exist. So I want to urge Kenyans, because when you're being used to come and disrupt people, in fact, if you go and look at what happened in Haiti, it started the same way it's happening here in Kenya. So for me, I don't want to condemn any comrades. It was your right to be in that streets, and it was your right to protest. It was your right to protest and demand for your rights. You see? So, mimi, I am 100% sure. Hizo magari hazikuchomwa na demonstrators, because demonstrators wenye tulikuwa huko hatukukuwa hata na masilaha, hatukuwa na kiberiti. That is number one thing you have to know. Secondly, hii demonstration wakati ilikuwa inaanza, the lengo is just one, is to demand for justice. And I don't think we are asking for too much. And even if we decide to distract and create chaos in CBD, so what? So what? So what? It is not my problem if you decided not to take an insurance of your car. Na unajua vizuri sana siku ya maandamano. If you love your property so much, iweke nyumbani. Si ati unakuja hapa alafu unatuongelesha vile wewe unataka. The truth is, if the government cannot respect the will of the people, then we will force them to respect that. But I'm pretty sure those cars were not burnt. I was there in town. Na goons wenye walikuwa kwa hiyo town is something else. Hata ndo maana nimetoka huko juu najua by the time usiku inafika, it's gonna be worse. So before you open your mouth, have your facts right. That is all I can say about that matter you've spoken about before I start my submission. So Peter, nimeona, I think budget imesomwa leo na Mbadi is really trying to convince us that the budget is good for Kenyans, and in fact, whatever he has tried to emphasize is that they're going to find ways to ensure that each and every Kenyan pay tax. And I agree, that's a good strategy. Poleni, nimekula tiaga sana. I think that is a very good strategy. Hiyo ni number one. Number two, nimeona akipeana hapo budget ya 4.2 trillion. Na already anasema pending bills, of which pending bills yenye amepeana hapo ni almost 650 something billion, if I'm not wrong. So, according to Mbadi, the money they are going to borrow, it's like 800 billion. Okay? So, my question is, how are they going to sustain that budget? How are they going to sustain it? That is number one. Number two, they're also saying which hiyo is a lie. Kuna vitu taxes ziko kwa vitu zingine is only that they are not saying, and specifically on farm produce. And let us agree with this. When farm produce is increased by the rate of 5%, everything in an increase, prices of everything in an increase, be it bread, be it milk, be it, because Kenya in a depend on farming than any other thing. I'm so disappointed that Badi has not talked about how they are going to curb money laundering so that people who are evading taxes, like Governor of Kiambu Wamatangi, who can afford to keep approximately 14 million shillings in his house in cash. So that one, Badi has not touched on it as far as I'm concerned. And I like what, I don't know ni MP wa wapi, I can't remember correctly. Kwa sababu ameuliza, like, how are we going to sustain this? Because that is the biggest question. That is the biggest question. Already 1.3 something, 3-4 trillion inaenda kwa debts. Okay? Na hizi debts bado tunazi increase yearly tukisustain nayo government. So, sijaona Mbadi akiaddress pesa zenye wanalipo zenye is too high if you look at what every MP is earning, and in fact every year they are increasing their salaries. I have not seen that addressed. I've not also seen how they are planning to cut the coat according to what they have. Because, you know, you cannot claim that you want a budget of 4.2 trillion shillings and you want to finance nonsense. I have seen allocation of the budget, women and youths, which have never been accounted for each and every year. And specifically, I can talk about the women because I'm in the CSO sector. So we have this issue of each and every year is when the government goes to the streets with, how do we call it? GBV awareness. That is, in fact, inaenda kufanyika this month, end of this month, so that ionekane hiyo pesa ya GBV ilitumika the whole year. But the thing is, they are putting it as an event. They go to the event, but if you go to the ground, nothing happens. But he has also allocated money for disabilities, and I think, okay, I was not putting down the figures correctly, but I remember there is also a budget for people with disabilities, and I think if I'm meant to be corrected, alieka mpaka ya, alisema mpaka people who are receiving pension are not going to be taxed, something of the sort. But now I'm asking myself, with the budget Mbadi has given and with the high cost of living, Mbadi has also acknowledged that thousands of youths and thousands unemployment remains to be a big challenge in the country, and he has also talked about tax relief. And he has said that most of the time is a tax relief has implemented effectively. So he's going to work on it to see. Okay, seeing for what has been allocated for HIV, drugs, and immunization, I think that is less money that cannot sustain that sector as we speak. So the budget is 4.2 trillion, which for me, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Two, when you look at the pending bills, to be honest, it's a lot and government never pays. And also, but they did not address that. Because if we look at the internal and external debts, Pipita, it's alarming and it's something else. So my worry is, Mbadi has not told us. They have only given us the budget. They have also told us they are not going to increase taxes, which have meant I tend to believe that is a lie. Okay, I've not read the whole finance bill 2025. I think I've been reading it in bits, but that is not true. And also they are going to add taxes on the digital platforms, which I think also should be done according to the earnings, because not everybody makes money from digital platforms. And if they add tax on the digital platforms, it means that some of us will not even be able to access the internet to get news. So what are they doing? They are trying to curb people who can use social media. So it will depend on how much do you have to be able to use social media. So I think that is also unfair. And I also think something that is so controversial about the finance bill 2025 is the fact that they are going to monitor, they are going to dig in your data and look at what you earn. And I'm telling you, they will not care, because that is what they have also done to, I think, SHA. And right now it's bringing chaos. So that is my only worry as I continue reading the budget, because I've not finished. I think we should think about all those things. But Peter, thank you so much. And my last word is, if you did not go to Maandamano and you are here on the spaces, please keep calm. Let us direct you on what was happening. Stop telling us what to do and you are in the house. Thank you very much.
Asante Luande, by the way. Thank you so much for representing us, Pale. Yes, Betty Njeri. Betty.
Cecily, I hope you guys will go fit. Let me scan.
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Fabian, I was in a space with you, but whatever you're talking about is totally different from whatever you're saying. You hata nimejam. Mmenijamisha leo sana. I was in a space where people were talking bullshit, telling us nonsense things. Anyway, turudi kwa whatever reason that have brought us here. The reason Fabian acha kwambie, I hope you have seen a video of guns, watu wamebeba nyahunyu wana cooperate na mapolisi, and now you want to buy the narrative that it's the Gen Z that have really burned those cars down. I hope follow. Can I follow you and inbox you that video before coming and telling us to what wameharibu vitu? We know they want to say they are not blissful. And what I said there, because I was not there, but I was supporting them. If it was available, I could go. Maybe I'll never buy a narrative. A narrative that a person who went to the panga was supposed to die because he carried a panga to protect himself. He wasn't supposed to go to Maandamano with a panga. This is just one case. And you're justifying the whole bullshit that the government have really done to us. Unajua akili zingine mimi nasikia leo nimechoka, nimeshinda space fulani hapo na nimechoka akili. By the way, muna justify whatever the government is doing to us, telling us we should wait 2027, so we should watch and see the government wakituonyesha kidole cha kati. So we should keep quiet. There's nothing impactful that you're bringing to the table. Yet the government is allocating. The government have actually allocated a very interesting allocation. Let me andika down. Let me look for it. A minute to Peter. It was 105. Let me remember. It was 105. We have allocated 105 billion shillings to empower women and youth in businesses. We know this money will not be allocated to the youths. It will be taken by the FPs. Your area MP will go for that money. Then later on, atakuletea boda boda. I don't know how it will empower you with that boda boda. Yeah, the fuel, they're overtaxing you. They're increasing the fuel tax. Boda boda. Unatafuta hiyo pesa inapotelea yote kwa nini? Inapotelea yote kwa hand to mouth. Because you can na hiyo 105 billion, you know it will go. Itakunywa maji, it's just to benefit them. Another thing I've seen, a very interesting thing I've seen is about the sports. Yeah, well in God, they have allocated such an amount to the sport. Lifetime, our sports, people who are in sports are living. Unajua, until this budget, wakibudget fanya maneno, mimi will never buy this narrative. It's just to close our eyes and for us to say the government is working. It's not working. Fuck you. You are located. You have allocated even.
Japonja, we lost Betty ama ni mimi ndo nimepoteza?
Yeah, I think so. I think so as well.
Hata mimi Pipita nimempoteza. Na the good thing ni kwamba nimeidentify huyo Betty Njeri. There is a space amekuwa akicomplain, na ni kitu nilikuwa na raise some issue nikisema that space ukiangalia ilikuwa imekuwa imejaza wale ma NIS na DCI. That is why walikuwa na harass when even they were asking kama ushawahi kuwa maandamano, share the pic kuonyesha uko maandamano, because it is you people wenye mko kwa space that you are inciting other Kenyans to go to the street. Nafikiri it is the same. Hiyo nakusikia na tunakusikia.
I'm glad unaweza nisikia. So you come over here, mnaweka spaces, mnaanza clarify a person who went to the panga, mnaanza crucify other people. Anyway, I was in the budget. That was not my take for today. Even in space, it was in the budget. So I was saying, hata nishapoteza train of thoughts because it was in my mind. Thank you, Peter. I learned. I will come back.
All right, I will give you the chance to talk to us, Miss Betty. Naona Dolphin ako hapa hivi ndani. How are you doing?
Hi, Pipi. How are you?
I am well. I hope you are as well.
I'm tired. I'm just from town. I'm so tired. Tumekula huko matia gas mbio. Man, mi najua hata tutatrakiwa hapa. No, I'll start by saying that there is nothing wrong that people have done, because it's clearly these guys are the ones who are pushing Kenyans to the wall, because what is so hard for the DIG just to step aside for investigations to take place? That is one. It shows that they don't even see the magnitude that this thing is going to cause, because whatever I've seen in town today, the number was too high, and this is day one. And guys, we are not backing down, because even tomorrow we'll be on the streets, whether they like it or not. Wakipenda wakuje watuwe wote. Another thing is the issue of arrests. Why are they not arresting these Talam Nini? These guys are just playing with our minds. I don't know if really Kenyans are seeing this, because the moment even I'm praying for Albert's family not to bury him now, because the moment this guy will be buried, na hii kesi ya watu wajashikwa, there is nothing that will happen. Justice itakuwa imekuwa buried hivyo. I don't know what is happening with Kenyans. Once mtu sasa zile bado ako mog, tunapiganga kelele sana, but the moment atakuwa ameshazikwa, that story will die na itakuwa imeenda hivyo. So I just pray, I don't know who's advising them, but I'm really praying if the government can just anaitwa nani, if this guy doesn't want to step down, washikwe watu wenye walikuwa involved, starting from the people who picked him from his place. That is in Homa Bay. Washikwe na waambiwe. We've not even seen these guys. Tunaona tu Talama, Osies peke yake. Ndio naona kama picha yake ina nini. Olwande, you have something to say? I see your hands up.
No, land your point, Dolphin. I'll bring her up.
Okay, so I'm saying we should just continue injecting because we need justice for Albert. It is not Albert. Any of us here can be a victim tomorrow. Any of our relatives, our friends. So mi naomba tu watu we are not enemies to the government. We just want justice to happen. We just want our needs to be aligned. That's all. If they don't want to take it seriously, then we are ready for anything. Because manze, it is too much for Kenyans. Even today, they are still beating people. Bado anarusha watu na live bullets. What is that? And there is nothing wrong enye Kenyans wamefanya. People are really just protesting. They are asking, they want the DIG to resign. Hiyo tu peke yake inafanya watu wanarushwa na matiagas. There are people who are injured, wamepelekwa Kenyatta. What is wrong with our Kenya police? Kwani hao ni akina nani? Do they own this country? And I said it in the other space ya Hillary Gondi. Nilisema, these people are our brothers and sisters. They come from our communities. We start talking to them when they are sober. Whatever they are doing, the orders they are being given from the from the state. Wawachane nayo. Because our lives matter. Nini yenye mtu amefanya unagonga mtu hadi unaua. Unaumiza watoto wa wenyewe. And this is something that is we have the right to picket. Then they also send goons. Saizi hizo magari zimechomwa, naona watu wameshaingia kwa portal, wana search hizo manini. Ni government ndili drop hizo magari tao ndio zichomwe isemekane ni protesters ndio wamechoma magari. How mad are we? Like mimi nikitoka kwa nyumba sikutoka naenda kupigana ama kuvunja vitu ama kuiba. Already people are going through tough times. Even those business people who are in town who are paying those rents, they are going through tough time. It is not easy for them. Why would we go to vunje maduka tuanze kuiba? Why would we do that? So me manzemi, I feel so bad. We should continue pressing these people. We need justice for Albert and to any other Kenyan mwenye amekufa mysteriously, because these guys are there to guard us. But hao ndio wametugeuka. I learned there, Pipi. I'm so mad.
Olwande, thank you, Dolphin, for your submission, and Polebana, I know how it feels. Olwande.
Thank you, Pipita. And Dolphin, I didn't mean to interject you. Nilikuwa nabeba tu mkono ili umalize ndo niongee. But Pipita, where are our men? Unajua mi hata nashangaa if men are the ones who are here carrying up their hands at you see, I went to fuck them. Mimi hata ningekuwa hiyo space ninge share kama niko maandamano. Kwani iko nini? Why do people fear death like this, honestly? We will all die, and it doesn't matter if you are dead, you are dead, you are going to rot, and people are going to forget about you. If you die like a hero, like Rex Masai, we remember him to date. So there is nothing wrong with the death. There is nothing wrong. So if somebody opens a space to threaten you, then wewe petena unatubebe yo uoga moja unatuzia, I'm so disappointed. We don't care. Tell them we don't care. Hata kesho, by the way, ni DM kama kuna hiyo space, I will join them and tell them we don't care. In fact, tutakuwa hiyo maandamano hata kesho bado nitaenda. In fact, mimi nimesha arrange nguo zangu hapa mpaka siku yenye nani atajiuzulu. I will go to those maandamanos, all of them. And you know, Pipita, something funny. You know, we are tired because what is so difficult with William Ruto just telling Murkomen, step aside. Everybody that was in the security, step aside, so that investigations are carried out to the letter mpaka sisi turidhike. In fact, vile walikuwa wanaharakisha investigation ya Ong'ondo Were, that is what we expect. Nobody is a lesser human being, and this is one thing Kenyans must know. Nobody is a lesser human being. And I think yesterday I was here and I told people, giving birth is a whole shit. It's so difficult. And that is, I even stated here that the women only have 1 week to have a kid in a whole month. So it's not easy for somebody to pump you until you get pregnant. It is not easy, and let us just get that straight. So imagine giving birth, carrying a child for a whole 9 months. After carrying a child for a whole 9 months, you educate that child. Yes, you take that child to school, and we all know, right now I'm paying school fees, Pipita. I know what it means to pay school fees. I know what it means to feed a child 5 meals in a day. It's not easy with this economy. Imagine you've educated your child to the university level until this child is a teacher, then somebody comes. When your family is right now is trying to expand, then boom, somebody comes, kills your child silently, pretend that your child actually committed suicide. I want us to get that very clear. Does it mean that we are less human beings? And if you watched the budget being read today, MPs are hypocrites, big fools. I will call them fools. Imagine people who were there to pass finance bill 2024 despite people saying, no, we don't want this finance bill 2024. Please reconsider. William Ruto, because he's a very cunning man and he thinks he's above everyone, including God, decided that finance bill must pass. And we ended up seeing 60 people dead. I now saw today the same members of parliament now standing in 2 minutes in honor of those people who died. Those people who have never received justice. What hypocrites. And let me tell you, people, that the reason why I don't like talking about politics, it's because of hypocrisy involved in it. Let's be honest with ourselves. So I'm wondering, where did our men go? And if you look at these things categorically, men don't want to go to those streets. In fact, I can tell you, Pipita, in those streets, women were more vibrant than men. I am sorry to say so. They were there. They were demanding for their rights. In fact, some of them have been shot. Then where na simu yako, you go in other spaces to see what is going on. You see, people like Pipita at least were streamlining, lining for us what is going on with the budgeting, despite the fact we were in the CBD. But you going to look for propaganda in those spaces, then you come here to sell us woga. Mimi sitaogopa, kesho nitaenda maandamano, kesho kutwa nitaenda maandamano, na hizo maandamano nitaenda until justice is served. Let us not be these cowardly made people. Let us face facts. Kwani unafikiria hata ukikufa wewe ndo wa kwanza? Hata huyo tu mwenye anatutuma ugunzi huko watakufa. They're not above death. They will die, and some of them will die very, very miserable deaths with nobody to remember them. So I think we should be sober when talking about some of these things, and I think we should be addressing the issue at hand, which is brutal killings of our people. Honestly, it is not one person that has died in the hands of this government. They are not two people. They are not three. You know, you've never ever been picked one day by these policemen so that you can understand. Some of us who have been picked. In fact, I remember some of us, we don't even have followings for people to even echo. And you come down and sit down and say to yourself, if I die right now, surely I'll die and nobody even will know about my death. Then you sit down and ask yourself, fight, fine, I don't want to fight. But what country will I leave my kids? Because I'm telling you the truth. With this kind of what is going on, if you try to accept it until 2027, I'm telling you the truth. In fact, 2027, I'm foreseeing people dying than what we are seeing right now. If you guys cannot end this brutality right now, because we know very well who are killing us. I was embarrassed. I was dazed. I was perplexed to see that now MPs are now honoring the dead for 2 minutes. These are people who are begged. These are people who are called on board. And in fact, even Finance Bill 2025, there have not been public participation. I just saw the other day Mbadi talk about it the other day, and he was like, oh, the finance bill that is circulating is from opposition. If it's from opposition, why don't you give us the real finance bill in the simplest language? And And I was seeing people criticizing a lady here talking about it. Oh, the prices of these things are going to increase. And she was not lying. Because the moment you increase food produce, everything is going to increase. Now, the moment we say that we invest in our local production, do we have local production? If we look at Webuye paper industry, it is long dead. In fact, right now we are importing most things that we are using right now, including body oil we are applying on our skin. So tell me, for how long will we wait for this government to make sure that all those industries are up so that we start making our own produce? And if that has not happened, why should we be paying more tax? Why should we? If I look at my payslip PP every month, I feel like crying because the government already takes like 52% of my salary. People are literally living from hands to mouth. Uko na tu salary yenye ukishalipa rent, umelipa buy shopping kidogo na chakula yako ya kila siku. Do you have a purpose in life? Because you are just not born to eat and sleep. Are you a slave? And that is what this government is trying to turn us into. Slaves no wanaletwanga chakula, leo umekula umelala, kesho uende ufanye kazi. So ask yourself, kama hiyo ndo maisha unataka kuishi, before you sell fear to people. I am not afraid. In fact, mimi siko afraid hata kidogo, because what I know, I am fighting for the right cause. And I want a better place where my children can enjoy in this country. And it is possible. It has happened in South Korea. They are independent. Naweza ongea hadi kesho. Asante.
Asante Olwande. Let me go to the one like Lyson, then we can have Abdullah. Lyson, habari?
Niaje Pipita?
Poa sana.
Sorry, it's very difficult to talk after powerful ladies like Olwande have spoken. But I'll want us I just want to go through another dimension kidogo too, so that people can understand what we are fighting for. Or rather to embody, to empower our thought process. So that when you are fighting and when you are ready to die, you actually know what you're dying for. If Kenyans could know 5% of what is happening in this government, I don't think we'll have a country. If you're able to just make sure people understand, just not 100% of what is happening, just 5% of the madness in this regime, and Ruto's thought process, because I know him very well. I've been an IDP. I know what it means to deal with William Ruto and Farouk Kibet and the other Standard 2 dropout. If you know how diabolical, how evil these people are, you'll not talk about your tribe, you'll not talk about the nonsense of cousins, you'll not talk about anything else. Because you're dealing with evil. And as the good scriptures say, they pretend. That's one of their strengths. After Ruto gave his statement, you see now how all MPs are condoling with the family of our patriot or John. And it's very, very sad. But I want to give you a true perspective so that you actually understand what is happening. 24 billion Kenyan shillings has been set aside to buy two softwares, Pegasus and Predator, from Israel, to be able to track you not only in your location, but height above the ground. 24 billion. It's in this budget. And that's why when we talk about reject finance bill, you must be knowing what is itching you and what is going to fuck you up. 24 billion has been split within NSIS, 10 billion, and the office of that albino, and I'm sorry, I don't demean him. I demean the person, not the color. There's 14 billion there. That's why you see that budget of a government spokesman looks crazy, because they're hiding in there to be able to attack of freedom of speech. So when you see people are randomly being picked, they are able to try and manage that process. And that's what we must reject. Because how much Kenya gets from total foreign direct investment, ile pesa imeletwa na investors, diaspora, is about 54 billion in 2024. So it means that the government is more concerned about controlling your thinking process and your silencing you more than even what factories, investors, your brothers and sisters who are slaves, who have been sold out as slaves in Saudi Arabia, who are working night shifts in America, 5 jobs, to send you that $1,000 or $100. All these people are working so hard. They're bringing merely 54 billion. This regime is spending half of that from your taxes to be able to track you. These are the things we need to reject. Don't waste our time in Safaricom. It's good because we put a fight for Safaricom, but the government has a system. This year I have a server that can be able to pick anything that you do in Safaricom. So anything, and I'm telling you guys not to worry, not to fear, but to be aware so that you know. We are not playing a game of cards. It's life and death. We are fighting a regime. And all regimes have used religion and political representation to oppress the majority. Now we have 54 million people in Kenya, estimated maybe plus and minus, but we are being controlled by a few families. A few families. Kenyatta, Raila, Moi, and now Ruto is there. And a few others, sympathizers. We must deal with these 4 families, these cousins, political cousins. Today they are fighting, today they are this way. When they fight our cause, let's be with them. When they're out of our cause, fuck them. Now, Raila gave a statement about this heinous act that was committed on Ojwang when he's in a massage parlor in Thailand. And I'm telling you, he loves massage and gym because he's enjoying the fruits of your labor. Uhuru was in Dubai, taking his whiskey, living in his good life. Matiang'i uko World Bank, anakuja kuwa president wenyu. So we are talking about a systematic attack that must be done on this regime. And through the streets, through intelligence communication, through these platforms. And the NSIs who are here, is okay. We know. Don't fear them. They have nothing. The moment you get a critical mass, nobody can stop you. That's why you see Raila cannot be arrested. And Gachagua shortly has already gotten there. He has a critical mass, he becomes unstoppable. It is the same thing that the Gen Zs have done, and we salute all those comrades who died for our lovely country. Let us mobilize through this platform, through anything that you can lay your hands on, because we are fighting an existential threat. I spoke to 2 policemen today. One was a Kalenjin who told me, Wakenya watasahau tu, hii kitu itaenda hivi, enda hivi. The other one, I asked him, are you very happy when you're shooting at people? And he said, no, this is very wrong. Kuna watu wameletwa kwa kikosi. So the policemen themselves, the real policemen who have a calling for that job, are with us. Are for this. All governments have been bad all over the world, but this is worse, not bad. It's a worse nightmare. It's an evil regime. Farouk Kibet, Oscar Sudi, the 2 Makangas from Eldoret are running this thing like Kenya is not going there next year. They are selling mining rights. Pokot saizi unasikia Pokot wanaanza kulia huko. Wameleta Maoria, Chinese, wanaichimba gold na machines. The local women and young boys who used to do Kambi Karai, shaking their karais to get some 1 ounce of gold and sell it for 600, 500 per day. That's no longer a reality to them. You go to what is happening in Kisumu, what is happening in Migori, same thing. If you go to Moyale, Those mines have been taken over by government officials. The same thing people I'm talking about. Mirima Hills is $11 trillion Kenyan money. 11 trillion equivalent has been taken over by Ruto. Jacob Zuma to die. Ogola had to be killed because they could not sustain knowing that who he is. But because he was a man of God, a very good man, he believed that they had forgiven him and that thing is God done. But they planned against him. Here we have Lagat. I talked to a Kalenjin yesterday. He told me he's a very good Catholic man, very good man. But no, they pretend. They hide with religion. I could go on and on and on. But I want to tell you, comrades, we must have a resolve why we are fighting. All those of us cannot fit in that street. But let's find a way to push this movement. Mau Mau was won because the women were the people who were the pillar of that movement. They got raped, they got abused, but at night they could cook and sneak food to the bush. So we're asking our ladies, as much as you're doing what you have to do now, please, let's not turn our guns against ourselves. Men, advise the men to man up in a sober way, but also let's give this movement a direction, and let's continue knowing and pinpointing detractors, but let's not give them airtime. I want to land by saying that, and I've given this story before, madmen in Mathare planned a jailbreak. They planned who's going to break the padlock, who's going to kill the cop at the door, who's going to open the door, who's going to make sure everybody leaves. But that information leaked out. So on the material day when they wanted to have a jailbreak or a mental health break, they found all doors open. And they started saying, there's something wrong here. Kuna kitu haiko sawa. Mbona mlango umefunguliwa? Mimi nilikuwa nivunje huyu jamaa. Mbona hayuko? Mimi nilikuwa nifungue jela. Hakuna mtu. How come there's something that's not working? So they remained there. Gen Z have shown the way and they have sacrificed, and that blood cannot go to waste. We have another moment to get rid of Ruto on 25th of June. This momentum must continue growing every day, and it's going to go down. He's cowed, he has no balls, he has no numbers. Let's keep doing what we have to do in whatever way you can. And please be very careful of any phone calls that you don't know where they're coming from, or anything sweet or a good deal of you selling out our comrades, because they'll come for you after they have done with us. Thank you so much. God bless you, PP, for remaining focal. But remember, these people are diabolical, they're evil. Let's go for them through all evil means we can. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Brother Lyson. Of course, as I always say, the views viewed on this space are for the speakers, not for Home Run, baby. But yes, don't forget to go into that Ibja line to support this show of ours, Natuweka Online. We have been trying to be consistent since last year. I thought this is going to be different, but it looks like we are back on momentum. And yes, we keep on moving until we get a better Kenya. Abdullah.
Yes, thank you so much, Pipita. I'll be very brief. Juu mimi nilikuwa streets leo. I was there very early in the morning kabla hata tuingie. What I could say is that I saw peaceful protest most of the time, and I think I will always remain that we have a military, we do not have a police service. I think there was a court order barring police officers from using even tear gas and water cannons to peaceful protesters. That is unconstitutional, but these motherfuckers do not even follow the law, man. You see people just, the police, they were being given a notice, so they know there is protest. And why are they throwing tear gas and water cannons to peaceful protesters? I think they are the people who manufacture violence, and it has shown today when the ODM goons, the Raila Amolo Odinga goons, came in to try to set up the car into fire, but with this age of mobile phones and camera, they were caught. And those are the people who should be arrested for infiltrating a peaceful protest. So for me, the protests were so much peaceful. Guys were just patriotic. They were airing their frustration. But the Kenyan police need to, I do not know, I think they need a curricula to actually teach them or train them on how to handle people and handle protests. I do not think we train them as a military. We train them to fight. We should be training the military to fight criminals and to fight other people, but there should be a specialized group of people on how to manage protests and to know that they are managing people and they are managing parties who love this country. They are not managing criminals. So the Kenyan police are just, I think an overhaul is needed. Those guys are not up to it. They do not know how to manage protests. They do not know how to manage it. They are criminals, those guys. How are you going to use live bullets to citizens of this country? They are not like stealing anything. So another thing is that I want to differ kidogo now because I saw a lot of young men also. Women are there, but I think also I agree somehow that men need to do more to come. But I saw them there; they were there. And the other thing that I saw is that the notion that is being carried out there that Raila and Ruto going together had paralyzed the protest. That is not it. That is not it. So I think Kenyans can do anything they want in this case. They can overthrow William Ruto anytime they want to. We have so many youths, passionate youths, who care about this country, and I'm even worried right now that we have a president that does not care. This guy does not care. If there was a working system in this Kenya, that guy Lagat should have stepped aside. What will cost Lagat to step aside for investigation to work? If Lagat is clean, he will come back to his job. But what is the guy doing still there? No, remember, last year, William Ruto was followed to Nyahururu. He was told to kitu ya finance bill. Akalalia maskio. People went around clubs urging the guy reject finance bill. He decided to akalalia maskio tena. People went to church to say reject finance bill. He decided no. People decided to text MPs to reject finance bill. The guy still does not care, does not listen. People now went to CDF offices, to MPs offices. Ile ya kuambia endelea hivyo hivyo. He does not care until when everything is done, he pretends to be caring right now. You know, if William Ruto was a responsible guy, he could today have sacked Lagat. Especially with what was in the newspapers today and the kind of protest. What we might see tomorrow, see in some days to come, it can be even something bigger. We have an irresponsible president. We have a reckless president who does not know how to run this country. He has failed in every aspect of leadership. You are joking. That guy is joking with fire. You know, you cannot just kill someone and then you release a very stupid, careless statement that is wrong on lies because they have normalized the culture of lies. Then we confirm that statement is wrong. And then we confirm that, or we have reports today that actually it was Lagat who killed that young man. We have protest for that guy to go, and he's still in office. I think that guy is joking with fire. You know, you do not joke with a country. We do not have a president. We have a totally useless guy. He has failed in every aspect of leadership. That's not a leader at all. That's not a leader. So for me, I do not know what happened today about the budget. I do not know what Mbadi went to say in pale kwa bunge. What I really wish, and I could really wish, I just hope President William Ruto or Lagat to just step aside so that we can have, they should not be interfering with investigations that are going on. And I will be happy the day that I will see not only the perpetrators of this murder brought to book, but also to those who killed Gen Zs in last year June protest. We have a documentary that has unmasked them, but the state still doesn't want to know about it. They are keeping a blind eye to it. I want to urge again, and I always use this. Please, next time you go and vote, do not vote for a guy like William Ruto who is reckless. Vote for a guy who has some leadership attributes. Vote for a guy who does not look like he lives in a cave in this country that does not know what is happening. And he has to stay for 72 hours to release a statement on a very sensitive topic about murder in police custody. Vote for a guy who can listen to you. Vote for a guy who is not greedy. Vote for a guy that you have faded his track or his or her track record. And when you see red flags, do not ignore red flags. When you see Matiang'i is red flag, do not ignore. When you see Wamunyoro red flag, please do not ignore. If you see Ruto's red flag and you see him in the ballot, do not ignore. Vote for a guy that will not put this country in a mourning. We are mourning, we are groaning every day. You want to be happy, one. You want to enjoy life. Please vote for someone, vote for a government that can give us that. Vote for a government that can give us that we can come to these spaces of Pipita and talk other things, or probably analyze more on other various ways that government can use to deliver. At least vote for someone who can respect human rights, because that is the biggest problem we have right now. Vote for someone who can care that the Auditor General is flagging reports day in, day out of corruption. Vote for a guy who can care about that and says that I see the Auditor General always flagging, but I do not see movement around. I do not see people being arrested. I want to see movements around. I want to see people being brought to book. You know, we can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, but we have the solution. The solution is for us to go State House and send William Ruto home, or wait for the ballot and send the guy home, and also have a government in that can care. Please do not make another mistake to vote for a guy who has question mark on his track record. Kenyans made that mistake by voting two guys who has a case in ACC, and that has been 10 plus 5 or these years right now that we are in. Please do not do that. Please do not just go and vote for a popular candidate and he has questionable past. Please don't do that. We are in the streets and we actually not enjoy to be in the street. We are going to the street because we have no otherwise. You will be killed whether you are in your home or whether you are in the street. So just go to the street so that you can change Kenya. Another thing that I want to say, another day we have protest. I am very happy today because Kenyans showed up. Please, if you are in a position to show up, just show up so that we can be one. Show up so that we can have a better Kenya and we can air our grievances together, because numbers really matter pale kwa street. So please, and I urge you, for turnout ya last time ilikuwa 64 point something. I want it at 90, 100%. And not just that, please vote for a right guy. We do not enjoy to mourn every day. We do not enjoy that. Let's put a government that cares. Let's put a government that goes there and serve. A government that we can trust with our money and taxes. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Abdullah. I see we have Japonji, kina Lyson hapa hivi ndani, and of course Dolphin akawa sauti amekasirika sana na mambo ambayo yanaendelea. Lusiski sauti nerves wracking that Ruto wants to spend on 50 million shilling to buy a spying software to spy on ex users. The collab with Safaricom that has led to triangulation. And strangulation of youth isn't enough for the bloodthirsty demon. How could an invisible guy act like with panic. Goons are all over the place. That is Richard Asema ndio ametoka Tao sahi, but amemanage kupata gari. 254 native asema it's goons who destroyed and burnt property, not protesters. Wewe kwani ni mgeni Kenya? I think he was responding to that question by the guy called Fabian Kisa. Fabian ametoroka. Unajua pia hata nimerealize mbweha pia wanaweza kuita umbwa wakukule na kutukana. Sasa kumbe wanataka unaona. Sasa for example, mimi ni government small, yeah? Then I see someone like Dolphin is very very active, so nakuja kwa space, nashika mic, nasema Dolphin, hiyo take yako wewe, nakuona wewe ni serikali, so mimi kama serikali sasa nimeseti huyu mwingine. Unaona sasa hizo ndo vichezo zinachezwa hapa town. Yes, but Nairobi sisi tumekuja na pia imebidi tujifunze tao venye ina behave. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here on Home Run EPP. Of course, we are looking at what happened today. Of course, two major things happened today: the reading of the budget 2025-2026, and of course, we are having Maandamano Thursdays, where guys on the streets are demanding justice for the one like Alberto Juang. Dolphin, your hand is up. Request the microphone and join us onto the space, guys. Dolphin. Dolphin and Pata? Okay. Betty? Looks like Dolphin have a drop.
Whatever I wanted to say. There are these people who are going to say that's the narrative. Also Maandamano. And I have something to tell you if you're listening to me and you think it's not safe out there and you think in your house you're safe. You're not safe. As long as you have a bad governance, you're not safe. Alafu, if you know you're going to the streets because Hanifa or Boniface Mwangi said, please kaa nyumbani. Kaa nyumbani, lala, you say it was an off day. Where watch tu maandamano kwa nyumba. The reason why I'm saying this is, you think you don't have reasons. Wewe una reasons, but if you think you can't chew, your mouth is full and you have no space to chew whatever this government is feeding you, umefika mwisho. Go to the streets with that shit. But usitoke juu someone said, unajua kuna, this is the narrative they were trying to tell me today. Ati unajua wewe una push watu watokee, alafu hao watu wanatokeanga because they are being paid. Well and good. If you think Hanifa and wherever they're going, what is hindering you from being an activist? What is actually hindering you? So utoke huko nje basi ukuwe activists ulipo. Again, if you're going out there because you think Hanifa said or Boniface, lala, sweetheart, lala. It's your off day, lala. If you're going there, but if you're going there to fight for your rights, even if you die, you have died knowing you have fighted for your rights. You are fighting for a better Kenya. But kama unatokea juu watu wanatokea, lala tu. Jota ukiumizwa utashangaa, nimeumiziwa nini? But ukiumizwa, you'll have the courage. You'll know I was hard looking for a better Kenya. Creating a conducive environment for my kids, creating a future for my kids and the generation to come. Not for the sake of you, for the sake of the generation to come. Seeing the government they have eaten everything for us. You're trying to save and you cannot save. Because of what? The government is taking even the little that you're supposed to save. And you think you're safe, you're not safe. Because hata saizi, if you think you're safe, saizi enda kwa hospitali and you're told you pay the sharp thing and you're told we want cash in order to have for you to be treated. Umekaa kwa laini, hauna pesa, Just because you had no courage, you were discouraging people from going to the streets to fight, to call out the government. Umeka koleni, umekufia kwa laini. You thought you were safe. But now umekufa of another reason. Umekufia kwa laini, waiting for that code, the shasha the code to kutokea. Haitoki, imeka 4 hours. Then the doctors in the waiting, the receptionist who is supposed to handle you is waiting for that code so that you can be treated. But now you have died. Have you died because you went to the streets? Because of your ignorance. So wacheni kuja kudiscourage watu fulani. Hata nyinyi basi tokeni mlipwe. Be an activist and get paid. Thank you.
Alright. Betty amekula nari ajabu, anasema kwamba hata wewe ni ulipwe. Bale mimi nacha niambie kitu moja guys. Na leo tuongee tu. How do you guys think somebody pays their bills hata kama basi unapigania nchi? You have to pay your bills at the end of it all. We are all fighting for our better country, right? But you guys are working in your various capacities, in your various employment levels, right? So sisi wenye tuko hapa hivi kila siku full time justice, we also have landlords. Unanielewa? Tunakuaga na landlords. Sisi hatuna eti sijui utaenda uende huko hivi ufanye pesa sijui ufanye nini. No, uko na landlord anangojea uweke pesa, and because anajua wewe ni freelancer amekuwekea high press, anahakikisha kwamba umelipa because ajui kama utahama next month. Now, so that is my point, that sometimes we want to act
prepared vizuri. Serenity, thank you. TZ hata si wanaongea nini? Sikia tu. Yaani ni matia gazi zinalipuka tu kwa hewa bana. Kwanza huko side za Tomboya hapo jo. Hapo siwezi kanyaga saa hiyo. Acha tu ni chill. Kanyaga saa hiyo. Acha tu ni chill. All right guys.